Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. Currently, it is 23 degrees Celsius, means it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Started out with a beautiful sunshiny day. It's now clouded over. Evidently, we're supposed to be getting a bit of thunder, some sort of rain. Hi, Belinda. Nice to see you. There was a thunderstorm yesterday, but it kind of went around us. We'll see. Even though we had all that water in the yard, a little bit of rain would be great to get the dust down. We've got a lot of leaf mold and major dust in the air because we sand and salt the roads. So yeah, I am good. I am good. Still suffering with this stupid hand, but you know, every day it's a little bit better. Great grandbaby is absolutely precious. She sleeps a lot because she's just little, but that's fine. It's fine. That's fine. Been really appreciating the pieces you've been sharing, Belinda. Those are absolutely stunning. Love the rich colors. I've been, I don't know even what I've been doing lately. I've been smudging paint on papers because I'm getting ready to go to that scrapbook crop. And I'm not going to do any scrapbooking, but we know that. Hi, Teresa. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So, I thought today, Jean was playing with it. Of course, we had sent something to each other and it kind of tweaked us both. I haven't had a chance to play with it. I've kind of done this stuff in the past. It's different, whatever. We're going to use wax as a resist and put watercolor on top of it. So I have a white Prismacolor pencil. That's a Crayola. You need something pretty waxy. Prismacolor pencils are great because they're quite waxy, or crayons. I'm going to be using a lot of crayons because I'm going to do some rubbings, and then we're going to put some watercolor on top, and I'm going to show you the effects it gets. The cool thing about it is it's wonderful for backgrounds. But again, with the wax, you have to be careful that the things won't really glue to it nicely, right? So I've got all kinds of scrap paper. Let's grab a crayon. The lady that we had watched originally used white crayons so that it didn't have color. I don't have white crayons. I have various colored crayons. But I have a plan to go to a local art store and pick up some white Prismacolor pencils and some white crayons, a whole bunch of white things. That's my goal. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you, I have been playing with, I saw a lady do this, so I had to try it. She had wooden blocks, and then she took puff paint, and she was making marks on the puff paint and using it as a stamp once it dried. So I did a little frame, and it does give really cute little frames. Do I have one handy? No, but I can show you. I have a stamp pad. I can show you. So, regular stamp pad. Of course, I love my frames. And it's cute. And of course, she had all different kinds of things that she used. So I have a little woggly frame. If I have a piece of foam underneath it, it does print properly like a stamp would. But that's another way to make some texture things for scribbling on. Stamps, use it as stamps. Use it as texture pieces on your gel plate. All kinds of fun things. So I just, I've grabbed a whole bunch of my texture pieces. I've never tried crayoning on top of this, but we're going to find out. And of course, a lot of this stuff is going to get ripped into little pieces, used in collage, whatever. Hey, Anne, how are you doing? You're attempting to find, come and find mine too while you're at it. Yeah, you know how I operate. Okay, so this is a heavy texture, obviously. I like the texture, but it doesn't give me, I guess it's too soft. So the paper actually goes into, so I know for a fact that if I put watercolor on top of this, nothing is going to happen because it's that jar lid opening stuff. So that's going to be fun to play with. I am not going to use that for today's thing. We need something a little bit firmer. Let's try this. It's just a stencil. Stencils work great. So we'll put the stencil down. We're going to take a piece of paper and we're going to do the same thing. Now that works much better. You see how you get, let's go close. You see how you've got the white marks between? And that's what you're looking for when you're doing this effect. And I'm just going to scribble this whole piece of paper along using the orange crayon because I can. Of course, you can use paraffin wax. When Jean and I were talking, because I have a lot of paraffin wax for various things, I was thinking when I wanted to fill the glue sticks with wax to use for doing rubbings and things, I'm going to do a couple with the plain paraffin. Okay, so I have the stencil. Now we're just going to take some watercolor. I've got so much leftover stuff on here, I figured I would just use some of this. Let's get this purple happening. Let's get the purple happening. Because purple and orange go so lovely together. It's going to be kind of gray. And of course, this is not watercolor paper, so it's just going to make a mess. I think maybe I don't have enough pigment to be part of the problem. Might have to switch that out. But once it dries, the paint, oh, lots of dry crummies in there. The paint will go around and leave the orange, so it looks like a lovely background. Of course, I don't have a heat gun, and I don't know how well a heat gun would work doing this because it's wax, and you don't really want the wax to melt. So this is kind of like a batik effect. I don't know if you guys played with batiks way back when, where you would take your crayons and melt them and draw pictures on fabric. First, you would say you'd start with the yellow or whatever. You would use white wax, and then or the crayons would die. Either way, and then once you've got the wax melted into the fabric, you dip it in dye. Then you use another color and you dip in dye. The same way you do Ukrainian Easter eggs, Pisanki. So you're not going to be able to see this clearly yet because it's too wet, but it gives you an idea of the effects that you're going to be able to get using crayons and watercolor. Let's do something on a book page. And instead of, you know, I'm going to swap this out. I think that just needs a good wash. Swap that one out for this one. So I've got a bit more true color happening. Bit more true color. So what have you been up to, Anne? Haven't seen you for a while. I hope all is well with you. Let that soak for just a little bit. Hi, Sherry. Welcome, welcome. So now what you could do, I'm going to use the Prismacolor for this. And we're just going to scribble some faux writing on here. Hi, Jane, welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to see you guys. So again, this is just a piece of book page, Korean English dictionary. I'm just going to do some faux writing kind of thing. And oh yeah, I don't have doctor's appointments. I just have physio. And I'm going every other week. And so this past week, I should have got I'm going next week. So I don't have an appointment this week. But I haven't been keeping up with my exercises. I can feel it. It's brutal. But we had a change in weather, so I had a lot of pain, and I couldn't even move that aft. I didn't even want to attempt the exercises. Okay, so this is Korean English dictionary book page. I am just, like I said, I'm going to do some full writing, and we're going to see what happens. This is a Prismacolor white, and we're going to see, because Prismacolors are so waxy. Love them for shadowings and playing when I do critters and things. I have no idea what this is going to look like. Jean was using the Prismacolor and it seemed to work for her. So this, I cleaned this. I cleaned this so I had space. It was brutal because I have so many painty papers and things, and I'm going to a scrapbooking crop next weekend. Not this weekend, but the weekend after, first weekend in May. And I figured I would take this stuff to make a journal. So I'm pre-prepping a whole bunch of pages, getting a bunch of texture stuff happening. I know. The problem is that a lot of the viewing audience can't handle the mess, and I understand that. So I do try and keep it semi-clean, and it does not always work. So you cannot see the full writing I did, but trust me, it's there. It's there, it's there. Um, get some purple. I don't know why I'm going for the purples. I've got a lot of green pages. I'm looking to use something other than green. I have a lot of purple doodle stuff too. Yeah. See, Jean did it on a dark page, a dark paper. And it worked really nice. You could see, oh yeah, you can see my scribbling. It's starting to show, guys. It's starting to show. Yeah, I am not a neat crafter, artist, whatever you want to call me, creator. I really am not. I never professed to be. Oh, that's blue. Wait, what am I doing? This one. Well, so we got a blue purple happening here. It's okay. And of course, that's really, really wet. But I will hold it up. Can you see the writing, the full writing in there? So Prismacolor pencils work great too. Hey, Andrea, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Right? So Prismacolor pencils, that way you can, oh, there we go, get a lot more fine detail than if you're just using a crayon. We're going to put this aside to dry. I hope it will be dry by the end of the stream. I am not holding my breath. No. I have my entire bathroom floor is covered in paper with muck water drizzled all over it. All right, so let's try the stencil again because the other paint didn't show quite as good. It was pretty grody. We'll try it again. So what's new with everybody? I want to hear good news from your past week. Let's try a different color. Got a whole box of crayons down here. Let's do red. Let's do red. Who's got good news from their week? And of course, you can switch colors of crayons halfway through your rubbing. But because I like things on more than one page in a journal, so that it kind of flows, kind of has some idea that things are supposed to be there. I'm just going to do this. Then we're going to try this on book page. We're going to find something else and we're going to do it on book page. I've got lots of book page beside me. Okay, so this is the stencil. This is what it turned out like as a rubbing. Is it focusing? Maybe a little bit. You can see it. You're working and lurking? Yeah. I do that a lot too lately. I have to admit, I've been invisible on quite a few. Okay, so that red kind of turned into a pinky-ish color. Let's try it with some black. Yeah, me too, Andrea. Me too. We've had so many stinking changes in weather. Like last week when I streamed, it was -10 with the wind chill. Today it's +23. So that would be like you're 14 and now it's 72. 1 week, you know? And we're supposed to be getting rain today, which is okay. I'm just trying to get some of these little crummy lumps out of the paint. Because when you just blob it down on your palette, you end up with a bit more of a mess. When is it scheduled for, Anne? Hey, Lee, welcome. Nice to see you. I have to get over and watch some of your videos. It's been crazy around here. First with the broken wrist, and now with a great granddaughter. Whoops. Flooding in the yard, so we had to sandbag. Bought a greenhouse, so we're Ron and I had a great discussion about that yesterday when we were out for lunch. Um, I thought the door was going to open to the south, and he thought the door was going to open to the east. So I don't know what it what's going to happen. I really don't. All right. So maybe I was a little bit lighter at the left side, or my paint's a little darker. I'm not sure. I will hold it up. So you can see how the crayon gave it a nice resist, nice thin lines in pink. And then I got blobbies over there. May 7th? Okay. Okay. Your feet need help? Oh, you're using an airbrush? Awesome. Can somebody please post Lee's channel? Ron was complaining I haven't been using my airbrush. I can only do so much. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I get fixated on one project, and everything else I've done in the past goes by the wayside. Okay, we're going to put this one to dry as well. I really like the way the right-hand side turned out. The paint is still, or it's, really wet on this side. So I can see it. I'm not sure how well it will show on the video. All right. So that's using a stencil. That's using a stencil. Of course, we have all the texture plates that I like to play with as well. Your parents are married May 7th? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So let's put this down on the table. We're going to use this book page. We're going to get I'm sick of green, guys. I'm sick of green. I seem to have lots and lots and lots and lots of green pages. And we know I don't like brown. Here's a nice fat blue. It says, "Welcome to kindergarten." These are from grandkids. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. Oh, thank you for posting that. Post yours too, please. I saw you did one for Earth Day. I've been doing Mad Dash. Absolutely crazy Mad Dash. We had canasta on Saturday. Sunday, can't remember what was up. There was something happening. Monday, I just kind of relaxed. Tuesday, I went to the local craft play date in the afternoon. And then my great granddaughter came for supper, and she brought her parents, of course. And then yesterday, we had to take the truck for an oil change. I hear you're getting another snowstorm. Hey, Jan, welcome, welcome. Today we're playing with doing some resist work. So, of course, you guys know I love doing rubbings with crayons. So I've got a texture plate underneath that. I have done stencils and other things, so I use this texture plate. I have a nice light, and now we're going to take some watercolor. We're not using green. Let's use blue. 10 centimeters. I know, that's crazy. We're supposed to be getting thunderstorms, not snow. North got snow. But so far, they're just predicting rain for us, like a. So anytime you do a rubbing, you can go over it with watercolor as long as it's wax rubbings. I'm not sure how colored pencils work. Prismacolor pencils would work just fine because they're so waxy. Haven't tried Crayola. We can try that too. I don't know how well you can see it. There we go. So then you've got the darker rubbing and the paint over. Yeah, I know. Today it's 23 here. It was 26 yesterday. So that's blue on blue. And again, I would use this for the front of a pocket. I could use this for a background. Speaking of backgrounds, I learned that there is a place online called Tiny Gallery, and they sell ACEOs, which is the same size as an artist trading card. It's got to be original art, and they sell them on there. My only critique to that is sometimes when I've sent stuff down to the States, it's taken like 5 weeks. And if you send it through, like if you do their sell on their site, if the buyer doesn't receive it in 26 days, they could hold your, suspend your account. Hi, Malia. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Please put your channel in. Anybody who's got a channel, please put your channel in. So anyway, we're playing Wax Resist, but now we're going to try Crayola crayons because, like I said, Prismacolor works great because it has, you know what, maybe I should just go back to plain paper. I think it will show better than the book page. I have all kinds of plain paper scraps, and those will work just fine for what we're doing because I'm just going to be using this for collage and things like that too. Look at all this blank white paper scraps. Do you guys save all your white paper scraps? Yeah. It's the same thing as an ATC 2.5 by 3.5. Original art. And this way it allows people to get original art at a reasonable price. It fits in the sleeves so they can collect one person's artwork if they, want to collect. It's very, very interesting. I just always thought, of course, that the artist trading cards were never sold, if that makes sense. All right, let's try this one. And we're just going to use a regular pencil crayon. This is a Crayola. Pencil crayon definitely gives a nicer rub than a crayon does. Well, I guess if you press the crayon hard, you can get a nice darker rub too. But we're experimenting. Because Prismacolor works, let's see if Crayola works. Yeah, me too. Backyard's doing good. All we have is a little bit of water around the compost bin and a little bit up the side. Our poor next door neighbor's kids are sad because they were kayaking in the backyard and Ron pumped for a day, so they lost their kayaking area because the front ditch was already empty. Okay, so now, does the Crayola smear? No. Maybe. Maybe. So it'd be just kind of like doing a stamp almost. The crayon was also work. And obviously you can still see that it's purple, so it does resist the color of the watercolor. Not sure if it's smeared or not. I really am not sure. But when I was rubbing it, some of the pencil crayon, like you can see here, where between the ridge the pencil crayon left marks. So I'm using texture plates, stencils, that kind of thing. You can also use various other of your mark making tools. Needlepoint canvas would work. I really do like the way the Crayola pencil works. Let's grab another one. Let's grab, what are you? You're blue or green? Let's grab a cool blue one. This is a blue. I don't know what color blue it is. We'll find out. Yeah, I saw that you guys were looking at snow. I know that northern Manitoba got snow. Well, it did color in between a fair bit as well. That's okay. I mean, you could just use the rubbings as they are, right? I just wanted to play with some watercolor resist. Let's do a green one. Yeah, might as well. And let's do this one. I don't know what even color you are. Fuchsia. We got fuchsia. You can see it sitting on my brush. So yeah, as I was saying, I've got a whack load of papers on the bathroom floor, all covered in muck water drippings. Okay, so this is just a Crayola resist. I want yellow, but of course I got red in it too, so it's going to be kind of like a little bit orangey. We're just going to try and get that off to the side and a little bit clean. All right. I like the way it looks over the pencil crayon. I have to be honest. And I betcha then too, you could glue stuff to it. Because if you're using crayon, it's hard to glue stuff to the wax usually. We got lots of buckle happening here. Yes, we did have our first thunderstorm last night, although it kind of went around us. We got very, very little rain, and it was brutal because we had the windows open, and with all the dust and leaf mold, like I had to end up closing the windows because breathing was being irritated. So again, regular pencil crayon and doing a watercolor wash over works really, really nice. All right. So let's try that one again, but using a crayon. Let's use It's brown. It's okay. Oh, that's cardstock. You're folding laundry? I did laundry on Sunday. So yeah, canasta was fun. Great granddaughter came with her mom. Her dad was training at the gym. Okay, brown crayon. Brown crayon. We're going to use that yellow again because I really like that yellow. It goes on, doesn't seem to be quite as dark. Let's see what happens. There we go. I really want that color contrast. So again, crayon, pencil crayon, both work really nicely. I can send you a picture of her with her eyes open. She's got dark eyes like the rest of us. She's like a little miniature dad. Like when I sent a picture to a friend of my daughter holding her, my friend said, "Oh, look, it's your mini me holding your mini me." So, yeah, she is precious though, absolutely precious. And she's got her great grandpa right here, wrapped tighter than a snake around his, around the little finger. All right. So you guys all know that when I go shopping, I always look for stuff. Look what I found. The plastic tray. This will be lovely to play with on the gel plate. Yeah, for a while there, they were sending pictures every day, and now it's like, hey, where are my pictures? Crayon. Let's use crayon. Let's use something fun. Something fun. What I need to do is throw these in a bin of water and get all the papers off of them so that I can do rubbing sideways. And then I'll have all these little bits of paper to, I don't know what color that is. Is it red? We'll find out. To use as ephemera. Ooh. Dollarama's the bomb, guys. You can always find something to use for texture at Dollarama. Problem is I haven't been playing on the gel plate for a while. So I've got all this stuff that I haven't played at all with. Okay, what color do we want to use for this? How about not green? Let's try this orangey stuff here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can see how it just rolls off the wax, right? Compared to the way it does on pencil crayon. That's awesome. You know, I wonder what would happen if I used like a kid's Crayola marker on top of it. I think the colors were too similar, but that's okay because then it's like a really nice monochrome texture. That would make great flowers or something. Again, see, the farther I get to the left, the crayon is not as heavy. Crayon's not as heavy. All right, so let's do another one of those. Since I got the tray sitting here upside down. Got this pretty limey green. Whoop. Can barely see this color. This is a very cheap tray. It's just bending like crazy. All right. Now what? Now what? Let's try it with blackish grayish again. So what have you guys been up to creatively? I really haven't been doing too much. For a while I could knit, but because this hand is so swollen again, I can't hold the yarn. My tension is way, way, way off. So of course I still haven't worked on my temperature blanket. Oh, I'm liking this one. I don't know how well you guys can see it. I will hold it up right away. I really like it. Welcome back, Belinda. I really like that pattern, guys. It's really rustic looking when you just scribble with a crayon on it because it's not a perfect solid print. I have another tray. I'm just going to get it. It also has a very nice bottom. It has been used many, many times on the gel plate and various other things. You guys recognize this one? Let's not have stuff underneath it. It's got all kinds of texture. All kinds of texture. Let's put this way. And let's use, I liked that yellowy green. That showed up really, really nice. That's green. Looking for like a yellow. You can tell that I was waxing threads. Thanks. Because I had some old thread and I was sewing and I couldn't find my beeswax, but I had the crayon on the table, so I just used, you know, anything, everything has multi-purpose uses in my life. So So yeah, when you're at the thrift store or Dollarama or whatever, things like the bottom of crystal bowls that you can't use on the gel plate because it's got a ridge. Hey, Susan, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. And it might have a ridge and you can't use it on a gel plate. You can use it for rubbings. Definitely can use it for rubbings. So I know we can't see the pattern very well, but that's okay because we're going to use a blue or purple. This is the blue. So what's new? Like, haven't seen some of you for a long time. Well, so this, guys, is collage fodder. Pure and simple collage fodder. Okay, obviously I did not, oops, let's use paint. I didn't get the pattern as sharp as I would like. It does work really well on the gel plate. But I would still use it. It's not as distinct as it would be on the gel plate, using it like a stamp. We got this nice texture here. See, it's right there. Don't know how well you can see it. We're going to wait for this to dry. We're going to do another one of this. Oh, of course. I'm starting to build a trap around me. I can't move my chair too much. Otherwise, we're going to end up with... Okay, let's try and be much more precise. Let's use a pencil crayon this time. I've got this teal. It is interesting in the background. This is a Crayola. But I mean, remember when we used to do this with pennies and coins? We used to do all kinds of rubbings as kids. But of course, we used crayons or just regular lead pencils. But I have to admit, I am very happy with the way that the last few with the pencil crayons worked out. You can also use embossing folders. Yeah, it was very hard to see the pattern with the crayon on the last one. Let's do this blue again. See what happens. So the crayon obviously doesn't smudge. Could have found a better brush to use, Kim. That's okay. So anyway, back to those ACEOs. I'm all over creation here, guys. Um, a lot of times I make my ATCs and I can't part with them. Like I don't want to trade, but I think I'm gonna do a few up as ACEOs and see if I can put them in that vending machine in Winnipeg. See what happens. See what happens. So the pattern's a little bit more distinct using the pencil crayons. Yeah, embossing folders work great too. Should we try one? Why not? Can I reach in from here? Maybe, maybe. Yeah. No, you need to go back in the bin. Thank you. All right. We'll move this tray as well. I've got a stack of stuff, guys. Ah, let's try that one. So you've got both sides, right? One's the in and one's the out. Oh, look, another one that I used for thread. Grab a piece of white. Back to the white bin over here. So we'll kind of do half and half. I'm using this reddish crayon. So this is an embossing folder. You'll be able to see the difference in the sides right away. Don't forget, you can also use your embossing folders on your gel plates. You can use it for making pressed paper. Put a couple of layers of napkin in it, 3 or 4 layers of napkin guts, and press it, get them wet and press it, and you get really nice textured paper. Oh, that could be a good idea. Hey, Vane, welcome, welcome. Vanessa, sorry. I have a cataract forming. So I'm having some interesting happenings with my vision. Like if I'm looking out a window, if there's a light window or something behind, I can't see like my computer screen or whatever. Okay, so now I'm going the other way to see if it makes a difference. And again, this one's crayon with watercolor. And I know that I can use different colored watercolors. You know, how we mix some together. Let's try this side with blue. No, let's just use the yellow still because I got some yellow on it. So to me, that gives lovely textured papers too. Like that would be great for collage. I could see making flowers. I could see making mushrooms. I could see doing all kinds of things. Even a Goonie bird, you know? Let's see if any of this stuff down here is dry or drier. Okay, there's the one where we used the Prismacolor pencil and did some faux writing. Chocolate cupcake. Nice. I don't know how well you can see it. So I did faux writing with a Prismacolor pencil. That one worked out pretty good. You can see the white in some places, not as strong in others, but it's okay. I can still use this for various things. This is one that we used crayon and a stencil. So again, this side didn't show quite as well. It's still wet. I think when it dries, you can see things much more. That's okay. Which other one is dry? So this is a semi-glossy paper, right? It's from a book, and it's got a bit of a gloss to it, or some kind of a coating. So I used pencil, crayon, and watercolor. The watercolor is really, really pale. The pencil crayon's okay. But I mean, again, that would be okay for a background. That one's still really wet. This one, look how beautiful that one is. Using different colored pencils and then yellow over. That one turned out well. That's one we just did. This one's still really wet. You can barely see the pattern underneath. Very monochrome. Again, if you hold it at an angle, I can see a bit of the shine of the pattern that's underneath. Can you see it better that way? I think maybe when it's dry, it may pop better. That one's really wet still. This one, I think, is one of the best with the crayon and darker watercolor. Let's not discuss Greeny birds. Why? Okay, everything, the other couple have to dry. This one also worked out really good with the pencil, crayon, and watercolor. I'm not sure which I actually like best. I used crayon on this, right? Let's try a pencil crayon on it. Colored pencil for those of you in the States. Oh, oops. Come on, get out. Back here I have a whole bunch of scraps. Small scraps. Where did you go? At least you were empty. All right, so let's use pencil crayon on this time. And let's grab the other bin. Got a couple bins. I tried to separate them, and I made a thing, but the thing keeps pulling up, and it doesn't work the way I envisioned. I have to be very diligent and careful. And we all know that I'm like a bull in a china shop. Okay, this is pinks and oranges, grays, browns. Let's try a brown. The idea is to look for something that's not really sharp, but has a decent enough amount of lead so that you can cover the whole thing. Maybe Belinda. Well, yeah, it would produce less, or, a deeper pigment color for sure. Oh, look, this was ready to be used as a page. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. The thing with using pencil crayons, it doesn't go as fast as crayons do, right? Because it's not as wide. Pastels would probably work really nicely too. Like an oil pastel. Just don't get the water soluble kind. It's not bad. What do you think? Oh, you guys can't even see it. I'm sorry. I don't know how well you can even see that. There we go. Oh, thanks, Vanessa. This is the thing is I like to use various textures. I'm all about textures. So I do a lot of rubbings, and I could just use this as a background and be happy with it. But I also like the watercolor effect as well. Of course, you can do all different colored papers if you've got different colored papers, right? We could try one on a solid piece of paper. We'll do that next. Let's use a different color on this side. I want, it's blue. Rubbings are a lot of fun. Like I say, I remember doing this with pennies, with all kinds of things when I was little. Oh, really trying to. This one isn't as wide a tip. So I'm getting some definite pencil lines, which is perfectly fine. Like I say, I'm using these for backgrounds, collage work. They are not going to be used really as a focal point unless I turn it into a flower or a goonie or something. And of course, if you really want it like a stamp, roll out some paint, press this into it, and use it like a stamp. We know how that works. Okay, what color should we use? Not green. Let's use this black again. Okay, you can see both. Remember, this is an embossing folder, so when they press into each other to emboss paper, so that's why the sides are different. This is a horrible brush. An absolutely horrible brush. Definitely did not choose a good brush for this. This is good for doing washes and things. Hey, Cal, nice to see you. Been a long time. How's everything? I'm doing various rubbings and putting watercolor over. And when it's wet, you really can't see the pattern underneath very well, but once it dries, it seems to work better. And again, right now I used pencil crayons. I really need a different brush. What are you? Maybe you're going to make me happy. Let's try this blue. Oh yeah, much better. Much happier. Much happier. So again, it's like a monochrome. You could use whatever colors you want. I'm doing monochrome. Little painful? Oh no. Arthritis pain? Sprain pain? So this one, you're starting to see the pattern as it dries. Okay, let's find something else to use. So we know that we can use embossing folders. We can use bottoms of trays. We can use all kinds of things. Maybe get a different embossing folder. No, what did I just say we could use? Oh, fibro. Oh, sorry. Sorry to hear that. Fibro is a B word. What else did I say we could use, guys? Totally flown the coop. The trays, needlepoint canvas, texture plates, embossing folders. What was the other one? Virtually anything that's got a pattern and long as it's hard enough that you can do a rubbing on it, you can do it. I also have, of course, look over here. Oh, we did stencils, right. Getting them in the corner. What about, whoops, latch hook canvas. Sorry, tripped over the crayons. I have latch hook canvas as well. Let's try it. Because what have we got to lose? Nothing. Now, I think I would like to use a crayon on this because I think a pencil crayon is going to get in between and not give quite the effect that we're looking for. So we're going to use yellow again. Really like the way the yellow worked. Again, if you are using crayon, you may not be able to glue anything on top of it because of the wax. You can't rush dry it by using a heat gun. You have to be prepared to leave this sitting around to dry. So you could stitch on this for sure. You could use it in collage work. Now, let's use that reddish orange here. I can't see the pattern. I don't know if you can see the pattern either. We're hoping that it's going to magically appear. Well, I got stripes. Well, I got stripes. Oh, I got yellow. All right. It's okay. Now I got something totally different. What are you? Get off. Go away. Way wet. Way wet. Okay, so needlepoint canvas obviously has one weft that is higher than the other. The weft or the warp. One of them is higher. You can see just a little bit, but basically I've got some really funky yellow striped paper. This does work okay on the gel plate because you can press it in. There was something specific I went over there to look for. That wasn't it. I just grabbed it. This one. Let's use this one. Remember this? Yeah, the wax axes resist, but so does regular pencil crayon. Prismacolor works best because it's very waxy. Like this one, I did some fake writing, just a whole bunch of scribbly kind of stuff, and then did the watercolor over. It would have been better on a plain paper instead of a book page. Right, we were going to do this on colored paper. That's the other thing we were going to do. See, I remember. It takes a little bit, but I do. Maybe we want to try it on. I have this lovely blue. We're going to rip that in half. So, we're just going to do a small piece. So this is a fly swatter, obviously. This handle gives some really, really cool rubbings as well. I don't know if you can see that diamond pattern in there. I get some really cool rubbings from that. I can show you. We'll take a strip of paper after this and do that. Okay, let's try. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to use a crayon. We're going to use a pencil crayon. We're going to use the white Prismacolor pencil. Make sense? Makes sense to me. All right. Let's use this fuchsia again. Pencil crayon. Again, pencil crayon takes longer because you don't have, pardon me, as wide the surface, you know, it's got a point. It doesn't have, if you were doing some faux writing or writing a poem or something, it would be great. But to do this, it takes a little bit longer. You can see where it was a little bit sharper here. We've got definite darker lines happening. Okay. Okay. See what I mean? That it was sharper there, so it was darker. That's going to work just fine. So that's fuchsia on blue, and we are going to do what color? Let's try purple. Oh, it's not purple, it's a different blue is what it is. I mixed it, that's why. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to use that. I got paint crumbs in there, so I've got dark stripes. Texture. It's just texture, guys. So that should be very interesting when it dries. So that was the pencil crayon. Now let's use a crayon. Let's use this yellow-green crayon again. And of course, we're not really going to see the pattern because it's so pale. But it should show up nice after we paint it. Again, anything can be used for texture. I saw this pattern and I had to buy the fly swatter. We are going to use this orangey color. Yeah, exactly. Those darn white crayons in the box. I mean, you could write secret letters to your daughters in the white crayon and then have them paint over it to reveal the secret message from mom. Very wet, but I can see the pattern. It's wet. Can you see the pattern? Yeah, especially if you're doing like a treasure hunt or whatever. So that is crayon. Now, we're going to take a piece and we're going to use that white. Whoop. And what are we going to write? It is a lovely day to play. And I'm going to use that orange again because I still have it on the brush. So if that was white on white, let's write that again on a white piece of paper. And do it again, and you'll see what I mean. I have a smaller piece of paper. It is a lovely day to play. Very wet. Once it's dry, it will show better, of course. So what else were we going to do? We did crayon, pencil crayon, white, white pencil for reveal. So it also works on colored paper. I do like it on colored paper as well. Okay, I know that there was something else that we were going to use. I was going to use to show you another thing to play with. I've got another stencil here. Might as well make a pretty flower. Make a pretty flower. Crayon, stencil. So we've used embossing folders, we've used stencils, we've used the back of trays, we used a fly swatter, we've used needlepoint canvas. What else have we used? Latch hook canvas, needlepoint canvas. Oh, and stamps, yeah. Yep. I'm really into this orange on this blue. Maybe it's a red. I don't know. All I know is I like it. So too, you a lot of times you do your stencils. We remember when we used to trace all these things and draw them and then color them in. Could still be able to color that in after. So again, limited by your imagination. Texture comes everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I bought these wonderful boxes at the dollar store. It's got these nice lines on the inside. Those would work, you know. Anything with texture. Anything with texture, guys. I don't know if I've got a stamp here that I could use, but stamps would definitely work. I have a little postage stamp thing. I got this stamp. Let's try this stamp. Why not? Why not? Let's use this. Stamp might be too soft. Might be too small. Yeah, it doesn't really show. Okay, it doesn't work great with a pencil crayon or a crayon. Let's try it with a pencil crayon. Come. Okay, with a crayon, a pencil crayon, works a little bit better. You kind of have to go sideways on the lead though. So probably a pastel would work great. Still not, stamps I think are a little too soft. You need something definitely with a harder plastic. But we could try this. Why not? Okay, so again, like, what was the other one? This thing that I did. It filled in the holes. But I could see using that. Doing it right on a journal page. Putting that behind a journal page and doing like a corner with that. Okay, so this is the journal page. We've got that there. Oh, could you imagine doing an entire border around a page like that? That could be fun. That would be a lot of fun. Then again, this is like a stencil. So I bet you could do die cuts and things too. I don't have a die cut handy. I'm looking at my desk to see what else we could play with. Got this bigger hole punch thing. Something like that could even be fun, like as a background for an ATC or something, right? Like that would be a very interesting textured background. What else? What else, guys? What I have to see what I've got kicking beside me because we all know I just want to keep playing now that I've started. Again, needlepoint canvas. Needlepoint canvas is great, both on the gel plate or just and I mean you can get this at thrift stores, right? Quite often there's needlepoint canvas. So it just depends on what your project is. See if this will work different with a pencil crayon than a crayon. No. It's too, oh, a little bit, but it's way too soft. You really don't get the... So things like this shelf liner or jar lid things definitely are better just straight on a gel plate. What about texture? Something that we've embossed. Something that's been embossed. Can we do it? Just as easy to use the embossing folder. I just could keep playing and playing and playing. I really could. So if you've got an art journal or whatever that you're working in, you could do some very interesting corners. You could put it and do some really kind of cool textured hair for somebody. What else could you use? You know, if you were doing a monster, that would make great like texture on a body. Of course. See, I use these in my paint. The caps, because it's got really cool stripes. So I've got a bunch of different jar ones that Ron has put a hole in for me, and I can use it like a wheel and roll over pages. Come on, focus. See? That's just a lovely little piece of texture. More stuff on the desk. Oh, this pen has an interesting grip. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. See, it's got a diagonally striped grip. Who's to say it won't work? I think I need something softer. Shows a little bit, but not great. Let's try it with a crayon. Not a big fan. It's got a bit of texture. Nothing to write home about. What else, guys? What else? Can you guys think of anything? This is more shelf liner. It works great on the gel plate. Don't know what it's would work for this because it's soft. No, we don't get anything. So you definitely need something that's harder. We have definitely determined that it has to be. Oh, I was going to show you the inside of the handle on this. What's it? Thin strip of paper. Surprise! I got one right here. Like magic. Got all these things at my fingertips. Then, of course, you need something that's going to fit in there. Move stuff off the desk. Oh, the secret messages would be a lot of fun. Right? So even in the handle of that fly swatter, I can get some Nice thin strips. Could use it like a washi tape almost. It does taper, so it's hard to, but still, who's to say? A little strip of this down the edge of a page. So this fly swatter was $1.50, and I think it was worth every penny I spent on it. Yeah, the secret messages would be really cool. When my little girl's big enough, she will get secret messages from Grammy. Definitely. Okay, what else have I got right close to hand? See if any of this is dry. So, what over this with my chair wheel? My chair wheel was mucky. That's okay. So this is still really wet. I can see the pattern underneath. I've got too much like dark striping, but where it is dry, you can see, and it's nice. I like it, but it's still quite wet. The blue worked out nicely until I rolled my chair over it because everything's on the floor behind me. Where's the other one? This one. This was the bottom of the tray. Yellow crayon, blue wash over. So again, it's got the hint, it's got the pattern, but it's not really strong. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, playrooms can become quite interesting. I mean, look at how we create when we play. Well, I do. You have to have all these things to play with, and you just got to have these things to play with. So that one's getting much more legible. Still very wet. This one is nice and clear because you can see the white on the blue. I still really like this one. That was one of these texture things, one of my texture plates. That's an interesting texture. It's just a whole bunch of little petally kind of things. We have to try it. I've got the texture plates out. Might as well use them. Let's use this blue because it's big. Now, if I did this in a black or a gray, it would almost be like cobblestones or scales on a dragon or a fish. But because I'm using crayon, I don't know that I would want to do a fish because I wouldn't be able to embellish too much. I would have to use, pardon me, acrylic markers, like paint pens might work over it. But that would make great, like little cobblestones. Yeah, that fly swatter, the handle of the fly swatter is awesome. The smaller textures do work better. If you're using these on the gel plate, of course, it doesn't matter what size. But I mean, I can't get in here onto the gel plate. But, doing a rubbing on that, even if you just did the rubbing, right? Like the rubbing itself, decide on the color. let's use this reddish thing. You do get the pattern quite nicely. And again, you don't have to do washes on top of it if you don't want to. You do you. Use your colors, your papers. Go look at all the bottom of your crystal dishes and bowls and things. Now that could be just used the way it is. And that's a larger texture. You know, the smaller things do work better because you don't get into the crevices as much, right? If that makes sense. You get like sharper definition. Like when you've got a big one like this, you're going to get inside these much more often. Something that you can see. This one. I got layers and layers of stuff here. This is a cheap texture plate. It is warped. But that's okay. We can still use it. Okay, so this has bigger spaces between. So you can see that there is crayon mark in between. You can't see. It's pretty pale. But you get here. You can see there's crayon mark in between the ridges. This does not have that same smear. Really? Can you see the difference? Like this is much more pink, whereas this is sharper. So the smaller stencils and things work better. But I would still use that. That's still a great background texture. You know, this one I would definitely do this, and it should bring it out that little bit more when it's dry. Take away it from a little bit from that background run. Dry, dry, dry. And again, you don't want to use a heat gun if you used crayon. You're just going to melt the wax. Sorry. See, so something like this one, you might want to do the wash over so you don't get that additional waxy between, right? That this will cover up or blend the other color in or whatever. Maybe I should have done it in a different color paint. Let's do contrast. Nothing like doing tone on tone, Kim, so everybody can see it really well. Not. Okay, so I'm using lime green. Let's use something darker. Something totally different. Let's use this blue. It's kind of purpley because I still had some orange on there. That's perfectly fine. You just want definition. Curl, don't curl. Right? So even though there's little marks of the yellow in between, you still get much more definition of the pattern itself. It just, you have to play and see what you like and what works. And, make a couple and test them out in various ways. Like anything else, you have to do it your way. I'm sure oil pastels would give you a wonderful resist as well. If I had some, I would show you, but I do not because I don't use them. I might have some in the back for you, but still, I don't know where they are. Okay, so we've got this blue pebbly thing. That's light and dark and light and dark. Don't have too much between, We're going to use the yellow maybe? This yellow? And of course, your color combinations are going to be what you like. I can chop this up and use it for so many different things in my critters. Oh, you can see the printing behind on that a little bit. Once it's dry, you won't be able to see it, but so we're going to let that one dry. I looked at that one. You're dry now. Nope, you're not. But this is the one, the rug hooking, latch hook canvas. I really like the texture that one gave me. Now I could cut these out and use them like little bricks or something. I really like these stripes. Okay, I'm turning around and looking to see what's behind me for what else we could try. Something different. Maybe I'll grab a crystal bowl so you can see what I'm talking about. Can't find my crystal bowl, guys. It should be right here. Well, that's annoying. Right. It's not there. I have no idea where it went to. There's not shards of broken glass all over the floor, so I know that it's not over in the pile over there broken. I did get this plastic bowl, and it too has a wonderful bottom pattern that I use on the gel plate. But too, it makes a great rubbing. It's got all these nice little flowers around. I'm going to do it with crayon. And we're going to use this is a gray maybe, gray bluish, whatever. This has a really nice pattern. I use this one often for rubbings. In fact, I think you guys, when I first got it, I probably showed you, did a rubbing with it. Texture, texture, come in here, texture. You know what else would work really kind of nice is mandala stencils, because they're nice and little and uniform. They would make great rubbing backgrounds. Absolutely great. Now, I can leave it like this and have just a nice, gentle thing, but we're not going to. Surprise. Guess who's going to use some green this time? Green and blue, why not? I guess that's maybe more like a purpley crayon, that one. Doesn't matter. So again, when the paper is wet, you really don't see too much. It really has to dry in order for the pattern to show better. Like, you can't really see it, but once it dries, you will see it. Scissors. That there to dry. I got stuff everywhere dry. Now this is a juicer. I got it for 25 cents. I use it on the gel plate often. It just gives nice little stripes. Just nice little stripes. Let's use this one. I have to admit, I like it stamped better than rubbed, but I like it. I'm liking the little stripey effect. Now, if I was doing a bookworm or something, I could turn that into a bookworm because it's really kind of cool. It's just very hard to hold on to and do. Let's try it with a pencil. See if we get it. Yeah, much better using it on the gel plate. But you don't know these things until you try it, right? Okay, let's grab the stamp pad. Come back. Yeah, or I could put it in, like, if I had a can or something, maybe like a yogurt container or whatever. Let's do this. Stamp pad. No. Definitely needs to be on the gel plate. Juicers don't work. But yeah, that's just it. You got to try things, right? But yeah, that bowl bottom works really nice. Starting to see the pattern a bit there. Tilt, maybe, nope. Well, I can see the pattern. There we go. There you go. See the pattern starting to show through? Once it starts to dry and the paint lightens that little bit. This one's starting to dry. You can see these ones better. Of course, this one is just a straight rubbing without any paint, as is that one. This one is the secret message. Of course, if you press harder, you're going to get a clearer. I mean, because I know what it says and because I can see it and I can kind of hold it sideways so that you can see it, right? Maybe if I used a brush that didn't have a stiff bristle, do it much more watercolorish with a softer brush. That might work nicer. I like the way this one's turning out. I don't know. This one's just about dry now. So you can see as it dries, the pattern's much more prominent. This one also. Remember that was just a grody mess. Oh, that one's still really wet. Remember, you could barely see this one's still pretty wet. So basically, it gives you a pattern with color. Of course, if you're playing with watercolor, you can use more than one color. This is one of the first ones. I can see the pattern quite well. It's really hard to see on the camera. This one, again, this is the glossier paper. The watercolor is so pale, you really can't see it unless you're here. So glossy paper may not be the way to go for doing this. Here's the bottom of that tray. Focus. But see, as it dries, you know, the rubbings are much more clear. It's still damp, but just gives you an idea. Ideas, guys. Lots of ideas. I'm looking to see if there's one I haven't picked up to show you. This is the one we just did. I can see the pattern coming out very nicely. Still quite wet. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody's got one or two crayons kicking around from whenever. And you can probably pick up a pack of 8 for very, very cheap. because you don't really need a bazillion of them. And if you've got paraffin wax, you could probably use that too. I don't know if the darker the paint makes a big difference. I think the contrast makes a very big difference, right? Because you can see very dark it shows and very light it shows, and it's got contrast both ways. Play, that's all I can suggest. Just play. And even this one, right? You can really see the dark here. I can see it perfectly fine here, but on the camera it's brutal. And it's still very wet. Can you see it better there? Maybe I just have to get really up close and personal. Yeah, I'm happy with the way my stuff turned out today. I admit, I'm very, very happy with it. I see many possibilities, many possibilities with it. So yeah, that's basically all I've got for today. I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for being here. Oh yeah, I'm happy with the results. There might be one or two that, I was disappointed that this one turned out the way it did, but that's perfectly fine. I'm going to use that just the way it is for other things, right? I love the idea of putting this kind of thing maybe on a corner of a journal page, something like that, something like this, like instead of, like these are probably more for collage, more for pockets, more for backgrounds for ATCs, something, but I really appreciate that I could do this in a corner. I could take, wherever it went and have it so that the circle at the center would be there and it would just spread out. So yeah, thank you guys, each and every one of you, for being here. Everybody up in the balcony, don't forget, if you've got puff paint at home, to try and make yourself some stamps and texture plates out of the puff paint. You really do have to let it dry good and make sure it's thick. Yeah. So again, thanks guys for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you, everybody up in the balcony, and everybody who watches the replay. Have a fabulous week, and I shall see you next Thursday. Bye now. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Hugs to you all.